Good Monday morning to you. The time now is 9:58. You're listening to WDBX FM Carbondale. The show is Talk the Town. I'm one of your hosts, Amy Fox, and we have Gary Williams in the house. It's been a while. Welcome back.
It's been a while. I've had a good excuse, though.
Yes, you have a new little one.
I do.
She's now 4 months.
4 months this week.
Wow, it goes by quick.
Yeah.
And we also have Jennifer Olson with the Carbondale Chamber of Commerce in studio this morning. And this is our first interview of 2019, so happy to kick it off with the Chamber of Commerce. In a new year, lots of new and exciting things happening at the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, my office team was laughing at me in December because I kept saying, all right, it's the last one of every event that we put on. And they would all say, we do this all over again starting next year. So here we are in the new year. And the first thing that we have coming up next week on Tuesday is a very cool program at our regular monthly luncheon. We have Cindy Stein, who's the head basketball coach for women's basketball at SIU, speaking. And what she's going to talk about is something called Masterpiece Training. And it is about some goal setting and some things that they use with the student athletes that they coach on and off the court. But we think it'll be real applicable to, coaching the people on your work teams and working with your employees. So we're excited about that. And also, we will have the foundation will be there, and they are our sponsor in our not-for-profit spotlight. And they're going to be talking about SIU's 150th year and an Alumni Plaza project that they're working on and kind of what they have going on for a little 10-minute commercial at the beginning. And then we'll move on to Cindy telling us about Masterpiece Training.
And where will this luncheon be held at?
So this one will be at the Civic Center at 200 South Illinois Avenue, and it starts at noon. Pre-registration is required. It's because we need to be able to tell our caterer, which is 17th Street this time. We need to let them know what kind of numbers to expect.
And if someone has never been to one of these luncheons, it's a great networking opportunity, and you get to hear some really great speakers.
We're always looking for, adding value, some sort of training. We certainly have companies in our membership that have a lot of training dollars and can bring people in, but we are more heavily weighted with very small companies, 10 employees and less, and they can't always, have a big speaker come in and present at a staff meeting. So this is just another added value that the Chamber does to try to bring the programming to our membership.
And Jennifer, is there anything else people need to know about this particular luncheon? A lot of times you do get businesses that bring, half a dozen people and make it a team effort.
Yeah, we would love to see full team tables. It's funny, though, because I tend to recommend that if you're bringing, several people, 6 people or what, that you actually encourage them to disperse among other tables so that they get to meet some new people and meet other people from other companies that you just never know who you're going to end up needing to do business with or crossing paths with in town. So, that's the whole game, is making connections. And if they can find a seat next to somebody they don't know, to me, it's bang for the dollar. You're getting a great speaker, you're getting a good lunch, and you're getting a new relationship.
It's good to get out of your comfort zone, too, and that's probably, I bet, part of the training. It's interesting you said that because occasionally, Amy could tell you that once in a great while when we have an event like this, we intentionally assign seats to do that very thing, to get people sitting next to folks that they don't normally talk to or collaborate with, and it's good.
Absolutely. And it's funny how many times that I think, especially prior to this job, I think I know who somebody is, or I think I know what company they're with, and then I'm completely off base, and I can't even tell you the root of where I got that line of thinking. So it's just nice to go up and shake hands and introduce yourself, exchange cards.
So the luncheon's going on Tuesday, January 15th, and they can either call the Chamber or register online.
Yes.
And moving on, you guys keep really busy over at the Chamber of Commerce. You know, most people just focus on one event for the month or the year, but you guys always have multiple events going on, sometimes each week. So you have the Chamber Connections on Thursday, January 24th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. If someone's not familiar with Chamber Connections, what exactly is this?
Sure. And this one, like so many things that we do, we don't do it alone. This one is very driven by volunteers. Specifically, in this case, one of our subcommittees out of our Economic Development Committee. And this subcommittee really has a focus on attracting and retaining business, and they're the real host of this event. We're just trying to give them the marketing support that they need and make the connections. But it's going to be out at the Wedding Center at Garden Grove Event Center. It's 4:30 to 6:30 on a Thursday. It's Thursday, January 24th. And the whole premise is there's all these wonderful free and low-cost services available to business, but it's sometimes hard to get the word out or to let the people who most need the services that are available know what's out there. Mm-hmm. And so you'll see people, and I'll just use this for example, PTAC is a service that is out of John A. Logan. And what they do is they teach businesses how to be a government contractor, which can be an overwhelming process. There's a lot of paperwork, a lot of hoops, and if you haven't done it, it can be very intimidating. But if you want to open a new line of business as a contractor, they can help you, and that is a free service that they walk you through. And there's lots of examples of those. So at this event, we'll have 10 of those businesses. Most are kind of state, federal funded. Some are based out of our colleges and universities, and some are freestanding. And in the first hour-ish, if you will, of the event, we're going to have, I'm calling it the grand elevator pitch. So each of those 10 businesses or services will have 5 minutes to kind of get up and pitch and tell us like what they have to offer and why someone should care and what's the process to get involved. And then those, we're calling them vendors, will go back to kind of a trade show type table so that the other guests, which what we want is really the business decision makers. So we're hoping the people who attend will be the CFO or the manager or the owner of the company. And after hearing the pitches, they could go approach those tables and see, you know, more information from the people that they feel are pertinent or applicable to what they have going on and what their needs are. But it's also kind of an after hours format. There will be a bar. There will be heavy hors d'oeuvres. So it'll be a nice mingling also throughout at least the second half of the evening after the pitches. So we want people to just kind of come out, network, meet other business owners and decision makers, and of course meet those wonderful vendors who, you know, most of us, our tax dollars are funding a lot of these services that are out there for business. And so we might as well take advantage of them. And there's nothing worse than knowing that there are these things out there and they're not being fully utilized to their potential.
And if someone isn't able to come to this January event, you'll be offering more chamber connections throughout 2019?
Yes. So we're just looking at all different things that would be helpful for businesses. I would put this, if we're talking about attracting and retaining, it's kind of a retention thing, because if our businesses are successful, they can keep their doors open. But we'll be looking for more programming like this. And our goal right now is to do Carbondale Connections on a quarterly basis. It is a new program for us. We've had more social after hours, but this is a little bit different, you know, more of an education bent. And again, you know, there's not a lot of magic in what we do, but it is really about connecting people with what they need to be successful.
And do people need to RSVP for this particular event, or just kind of show up the day of the event?
It would be helpful for food. Again, you know, it's always helpful if we can tell the caterers, you know, what we need. Garden Grove is doing the food, and also helping us out with a door prize. So they'll be offering a drawing for a gym membership there that at the facility they have on site. So they're really stepping up also and helping us. So we want to be fair to them and get them a good head count.
And another networking event going on January 29th at Long Branch.
Yes, so we are program heavy on a lot of things that we do. We have presenters and things like that, but one of the things that had been requested some time back, even before I came, was let's just have one time where everybody meets at a restaurant and it's separate tickets, and it's just a chance to introduce yourself and then mingle and maybe sit next to somebody you didn't know before. So networking at noon is just show up at the designated member restaurant. This time we're going to be at Long Branch on Tuesday, January 29th. We'll be there at noon. They know we're coming. They know we'll have 16, 20, maybe more, individual checks, but it's just a super low key, no program, just come and mingle and meet some new people.
And closing out the month of January on the 31st, you have a Round Pie Straight Talk. And for these, you usually have a lot of outside guests coming in to talk about a particular organization or a particular subject matter. Mm-hmm.
And it is a nice opportunity to do question and answer. We usually keep their presentation, if you will, to more of an introduction, and then it's everyone literally sitting around a big table. Domino's is kind enough to provide pizza for our registered guests, so there's kind of a free lunch. As they say, no such thing as a free lunch. Not true. And we try to bring in somebody that people will have a lot of questions for. And so this time on Thursday, January 31st, at noon at the old train depot, we have Cody Moak. He's out of the local office for the Illinois State Treasurer's office. And, a lot of people don't know what the treasurer does or the comptroller or, so he can answer some baseline questions about, kind of what their office is all about, which is helpful. But also he manages a lot of community outreach programming. And so he talks about things like iCash, which is a database where people can go and see if they have had money forfeited through the state. And so maybe, they had a deposit on a utility bill and it was never claimed. And so those go to the state and can be claimed back to the individual. Maybe they left, $6.32 in a bank account that they forgot about when they left school at SIU. All of these things and are out there and available to be reclaimed. And when I first met Cody, I sort of knew about those consumer level services, which are certainly important, but also you can go on there and see, and there are quite a few businesses. I just kind of was trolling through the Carbondale businesses to see who was owed money.
Trolling.
Well, strolling, trolling, rolling. But yeah, I was just kind of checking out, and I did throw a heads up to a few member businesses that had several out there and just say, hey, if you have somebody who can dedicate, a boring afternoon to sitting and filling out, you might get a few dollars back. So there's lots of programming through the treasurer's office, and Cody is our local expert on that, and he's gotten more active with the chamber, and they want, I think a lot of people think everything happens in Springfield, or even worse, everything happens in Chicago. But, a lot of these guys and gals have a local office, and they have local folks manning those offices, and we should take advantage of, their knowledge and wisdom and see how it impacts us.
So you can do that on Thursday, January 31st at noon over at the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
And I know we have a few minutes left, so I would be remiss if I forgot to mention the upcoming banquet. You're still looking for sponsors, and of course people can purchase tickets to attend this event in February.
Yeah, we're really wrapping up the sponsor piece. I mean, we really kind of need to get that done early this week. But yes, February the 15th will be at the Student Center Ballroom. It is our largest fundraiser of the year. It also allows us to recognize outstanding businesses and community members. It's, a very fun event. We're really this year cutting back on a lot of programming. We want people just to have a chance to come out for a fun night, get dressed up and mingle. I mean, we will still do all of our awards, but just a lot more condensed program than has been done more recently. So we just want people to come out and enjoy the food and drink and a night out. And if you want to spend a few dollars with a chamber member business before or after, we wouldn't hate that at all.
And a lot of businesses do choose to purchase tables so their whole office can sit together. And it's also a great way to network with other companies, other organizations in the community, not only here in Carbondale, but throughout Southern Illinois.
Absolutely. I mean, it is, for the benefit of our members, but it really becomes a regional effort. And we have a lot of our member businesses that, are present at multiple dinners throughout the dinner season, if you will. But I always say, you truly will see people at that event that you don't see really the rest of the year. And so it is nice. It's a big celebration. And I think it's just even interesting to look through past award winners and just get out and have a nice evening.
So I know we covered lots of stuff, but Jennifer, what's the best way to learn more about the events, to sign up, and if people have questions, who do they need to contact?
So the website is carbondalechamber.com. Our office number is 549-2146, and just or you can always just stop by also in the old train station. We're on the end by the cellar.
Great. Always a pleasure to have you here in studio, and best of luck with all of your planning efforts. I know you have a lot under your hands right now.
Yes.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you.
And we're going to take a short break and get you some announcements, and we'll be right back.
Good morning. This is Alicia with the City of Carbondale here to bring you this week's calendar of events. The American Red Cross encourages people to help meet the urgent need for blood and platelets by resolving to give blood during January National Blood Donor Month. Busy holiday schedules, extreme winter weather, and seasonal illnesses often impact donor turnout this time of year. The Red Cross encourages eligible donors to resolve to give blood or platelets regularly beginning in January. For a list of locations and dates, please visit the redcrossblood.org. And on Tuesday, January 8th, 2019, two Nashville country artists are coming to Carbondale to celebrate the birthday of Elvis Presley in song. Country music veteran hitmaker Ronnie McDowell will be making a stop in Carbondale on his national tour. Singer-songwriter Amber Hayes will be the opening act. The Elvis Presley birthday celebration begins at 7 p.m. Tickets are $30 and are available in advance at www.thevarsitycenter.eventbrite.com and at Plaza Records located at 816 East Main Street, Carbondale. Tickets are not available at the venue until doors open on the night of the show. And on Saturday, January 5th, 2019, it's Fresh Fitness. Fresh Fitness returns to Carbondale Community High School this winter. The exercise classes will be held every Saturday during the Carbondale Community Farmers Market, beginning at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. SIU Student Recreation Center instructors will teach a variety of cardio and strength training classes throughout the 13-week program. No experience is necessary. Participants are encouraged to wear comfortable clothes and bring a water bottle, towel, and yoga mat. A cash donation of $5 is suggested. If you have any questions, please call 618-559-1939. For more information on these events and others, please visit our website at WDBX.org or CarbondaleTourism.org, or you can reach us by phone at 618-457-3228. Thank you and have a great week.
Good Monday morning. The time now is 10:17 a.m. You're listening to Talk of the Town on WDBX FM Carbondale. Happy 2019. It's been a couple of weeks since we've last chatted with you, and we have a very special guest in studio this morning. We have Maureen Pyle here to tell us about an upcoming celebration for Martin Luther King Jr. So thank you so much for joining us in studio this morning. And first off, tell us a little bit about the theme for the celebration going on January 20th.
Yes, and it's just want to remind people this is a family-friendly celebration. It's not a people giving speeches, and it will be at the Civic Center at 4 p.m., so everyone can come. It's called the 20th Annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Community Celebration, and the theme we've chosen for this year is A Voice for Freedom and Justice.
And how did you come up with this theme for the celebration?
Well, we collaborate. We have quite an interesting planning committee. I'm going to name them for you so you can see who they are. Ron Ferguson from Heron, Tina Carpenter, Arlene Norvell, Pastor Chris Swim, Scott Martin, Carolyn Harvey, Vicki Davenport, and myself. So we toss it around. We kind of like toss ideas around. But this year, because of the oppression that we see in the culture against black people, we felt we really need a stronger theme. So we came up with A Voice for Freedom and Justice.
And you put a lot of time and effort into planning for this event. I'm sure planning begins months before January.
Yes, we just really get into high gear usually around October, but now we're so good at it that we just kind of snip, snap. And Carolyn Harvey is our driver, so she makes sure we get it done. She's the councilwoman. Many of you probably know Carolyn. So
she's very organized.
She gets it done.
Doesn't like to waste time. We like that too.
Yes, exactly. And on the 20th, what can people expect?
It's going to be a variety of programming. There will be the Carbondale Middle School Jazz Band under the direction of Mr. Shaddy Frick. I think many of you know, quite an excellent band. There'll be musical performances from the Boys and Girls Club of Carbondale, and there will be a solo by Marion Isaac from Marion, and additional programming will be, I think in particular, the interpretive readings of Dr. King's actual words. And we're selecting more challenging statements. I think a lot of people think of him as a street name. I mean, his radicalism has been lost over time. So I'm going to give you one quote that I think is really significant. True compassion is more than flinging a coin to a beggar. It comes to see that an edifice which produces beggars needs restructuring. So he's challenging us to take a look at the institutional racism that causes problems for people.
And it really sounds like you have people from all facets of the community represented at this event.
We do. We really encourage a lot of participation. That's why we keep it a celebration, because if you have a band, if you have children singing, you know, if you have, I love it, the I Can Read group is going to do a song, and, you know, 8-year-old singing. Mm-hmm. That's very attractive to people. But when they come, it's an opportunity to also interact with the social justice groups in the community, because up and down the hallway in the Civic Center, there'll be tables of people talking about, you know, registration, NAACP, or Racial Justice Coalition, or the Race Unity Group. So there's another opportunity for people to learn about what's happening in Carbondale for social justice.
And in addition to the program, you'll also be handing out an award. That's the MLK Spirit Award. And you've had a lot of nominees come in, and there's some pretty tough criteria.
It's quite a significant chore of having done it to find a group, you can be an organization or a person, to merit this award. And I'll tell you the criteria. Nominees should have enacted or modeled a spirit of community service in the manner of Dr. King. For instance, they might have demonstrated a commitment to justice, equality, peace, social change, improved race relations, or compassion undertaken in their home community. And that is a secret. We don't announce it till the day. But I want to give you some of the people in our community who've received it before, and you'll recognize their names. Pepper Holder, Senator Paul Simon, the NAACP, Linda Flowers, Milton and Corrine McDaniel, SIU Associate Dr. Seymour Bryson, Lillian Adams, Mary O'Hara, Marjorie Parker, Hugh Muldoon, Donna Haynes, Margaret Nesbitt and Genevieve Houghton, Reverend Rick Jackson, Reverend Doug Cherry and John Cherry, Mary Sassy, Bill Sasso and Richard Hayes, posthumously, Anna Marie Shepard, and Pastor Sonia Ingebrigtsen, and recently Dr. Ella Lacey and Father Joseph Brown. Quite a luminary group, and it's also a good reminder of all the wonderful leaders that we have in our own community.
And it's a very prestigious award.
Absolutely. People are just so astonished when they receive it. They often say, well, I don't know that I really deserved it. One of my favorite memories, though, was Mrs. Nesbitt and Genevieve Houghton, who were very, very tough activists, took that microphone and really lectured us on how we're not doing enough in our community. So we don't encourage that, but sometimes people step up and say, here's my chance, 400 people are listening, and let's remember we have to keep going. It's not just about the past and honoring Dr. King. He deserves honor, but also what did he do, and how do we keep that social justice action going forward?
And I know you touched a little bit on this earlier in the interview, but how does this program different from maybe other Martin Luther King events that go on throughout the region?
Well, the NAACP breakfast is an opportunity for you to hear about what young people are doing predominantly, and there's also speeches going on there. I don't know exactly what they do at the Student Center. They have what used to be in one of the
Student Center.
It's a student center. There'll be a lecture, but this is an opportunity to be with people who are not typically going to things of that type. And so we also stress that it's for families. We have children there, and we think it's really important that children hear this message, that we carry on the legacy by really making it accessible through the arts and through the actual words of Dr. King. Because sometimes what happens when someone becomes famous is they become less lively in our memories, and we think, oh, that's George Washington or someone who's dead. But King's words and his actions and his deeds are so important today, and we have to keep reminding people that he suffered, he sacrificed, he actually gave his life for this movement that we now try to keep going. So we try to reach out to a broad range of people in the community.
And this is once again going on January 20th at the Carbondale Civic Center. What are the hours of the event?
Well, if the actual event is from 4 till about 6, but the program, we try to keep it to a tight hour. But if you come early, like around 3:30, you can visit the tables and talk to people who are activists. And then after there's tea and coffee and things like that, and a chance just to talk to people.
And is there a ticket that people need to purchase, or just show up?
Just come. That's all we ask. Just show up.
And is there anything else that maybe we forgot to ask you that's important to get out to the public?
Well, I think it's important for people to know we've been doing this for 20 years. I think that people often feel that there's a sense of hopelessness about Carbondale. Oh no, things are going down. What about SIU? And I moved here 10 years ago, and I have never lived in a livelier place in my life. And so I always counter that argument and I say, no, we are alive. Yes, we're struggling with issues, but we're working on those issues. And I'm struck by, for example, that the community is coming together to provide a warming center in a few weeks for people who cannot be served in our current shelter for a variety of reasons. And that's a community-wide effort, and Gary's very involved in that, the Interfaith Council and many other organizations. So Carbondale is still showing its concern for social justice.
And thank you so much for joining us, Maureen. And we are going to be anxiously awaiting to hear the announcement about who will receive the 2019 MLK Spirit Award. Very exciting.
Yep, please come.
Thanks, Maureen.
Right. Thank you. And thank you all for listening to Talk of the Town this morning. We hope you have a wonderful Monday, and we'll join you next week. Thanks so much.
This hour of programming is brought to you in part by your membership contributions and by Arnie's Sandwiches, offering deli sandwiches, soups, and salads daily, including the Macho Man Marvel, Bosque del Bomber, and a selection of gluten-free options. Catering with lunch boxes, sandwich trays, and party subs also available. Arnie's Sandwiches, open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at 2031 South Illinois Avenue for dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. 529-4300.
Support comes from the original Carbondale Farmers Market. 43 years and still growing. Now open every Saturday from 8 a.m. to noon, rain or shine, in the West Town Plaza, just west of Murdale Shopping Center. They'll have local and ecologically grown produce, native plants, free-range eggs, chicken, beef, pork, mushrooms. Also offering baked goods, honey, jams, handmade jewelry, and pottery. The farmers appreciate your support and remind you to think globally and eat locally. It's Grandma's Jazz. Hi, I'm Gene Armstrong, inviting you to join me Saturday morning at 10 for big band, swing, and a lot of great vocals. I'll provide the music that'll make your Saturday chores more pleasant. It's Grandma's Jazz, Saturday from 10 a.m. till noon on Community Radio for Southern Illinois, WDBX FM 91.1, and streaming live at WDBX.org.
Support comes from Work Care.
This government had an idea and Parliament made it law. It seems like it's illegal to fight for the union anymore. And which side are you on, boys? Which side are you on? Which side are you on, boys? Which side are you on? Set off to join the picket lines, but together we cannot fail. We got stopped by police at the county line. They said, go home, boys, or you'll go into jail. And we'd